I'm Rochelle Manley, a consultant for NWOET, a nonprofit that travels around to school districts in Northwest Ohio doing professional development on how to use technology. This is the first video in a series where we will talk about Google Classroom integration. In previous videos done by NWOET, you have learned how to set up Google Classroom. Now what? How do you organize it and then integrate it into your daily routine? What is all this for? I'm going to share with you some hints and tips I have used to integrate Classroom into my teaching time. For the purpose of this training, I have set up a classroom for a 4th grade reading class. You will notice here on the Google Classroom page that I have 3 classrooms. One is for my students, one is my filing cabinet for class projects, and one I am the co-teacher of. We will talk more about the filing cabinet in another video. If you notice here in the lower right-hand corner of each class, there's a classroom file folder that's associated with that class. That folder is automatically set up on your Google Drive when you create a classroom. It's good to know. Let's click in one. It's good to know that it's there in case you're looking for a particular file that you might have created when in that particular classroom. So here's a remote learning survey that I had created for my 4th grade class. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. So I want to go into my 4th grade reading class and let's have a look around. So if I click here, it automatically takes you into the stream. If you look up here, you've got the stream, classwork, people, and grades. We'll talk about each of these sections during the trainings. In the banner, you'll notice that here's your class code. If you click right here on this button, that gives you the display. This is an easy way to get your students to add the classroom. You go ahead and click out of that. You can also invite them through the people tab and invite co-teachers through that also. I have my students add the class because I feel this is the easiest way. I also teach technology and have over 500 students with 28 classrooms set up, so that would be a lot of inviting. Below the class code, you'll notice down here that there is a Meet link, and you can generate a Google Meet link. I'm going to click over here and go into my filing cabinet real quick. I actually set a link up earlier, and you can choose to make this visible to the students. So if you have remote learning and you have a weekly meeting, you can have the class link right up here. So that's a convenient way to have a Google Meet already set up for your classroom. Let's go back to my 4th grade class. All right, below the class code, there's the link. If we move across the banner, there's this down arrow. If I click on the down arrow, you'll notice that there's some information. It's just general information about my classroom. That's the information that you set up whenever you first set up your classroom. Also in the banner, I'm going to close that. Also in the banner over here, you see the select theme or the upload photo. You can select different themes by clicking on select theme. And you can choose one of these themes and it'll have that theme for your classroom. Whenever you set up your classroom, depending on what you put in it, Google tries to pick a theme that goes close by with what you're doing. If I click on, I want to show you really quickly, you can do an upload photo. So you can upload your own theme. So I'm going to click back into classes and show you. If I go into this technology wise, this is actually a banner that I created myself. Now, if you notice, it's kind of hard to see. There's actually a gray film that is over it, or a gray layer that's over it. And that, from what I understand, is to increase the readability. There's a lot of steps to create one of these banners. And with the gray filter over it, it makes it darker. So I'm not telling you not to create one, but I just wanted to mention in case you were considering designing one yourself. It's a great way to be creative, but I myself personally was a little bit disappointed when I worked hard on that design and then uploaded it and it was so dark. Let's go back to my 4th grade classroom. If I click on the hamburger up here, I can click on that, go down to my 4th grade reading, and it takes me right back into it. you'll notice that we're still in the stream view. Down in this area down here, this is where you can actually communicate with your class. You can schedule announcements or create announcements here. When you create a classroom, the default setting here is you can show condensed notifications. If you click on this gear up here in the right-hand corner, you can actually go down to the general portion, and you'll notice that classwork on the stream right now is hide notifications. The default is to show condensed notifications. If I hit save on that and go back to my stream, you're going to notice that every announcement, every bit of material that I've posted is here. Now, if I go into that gear and show if I go down again, I'm going to show attachments and details, and I'll hit save so you can see what that view looks like also. This actually has the entire assignment along with any links that you've put to it and any comments that are made. So this shows everything. I don't like this view. I actually hide the notifications so that this area is a nice clean area for the students to see. While you're in this area, you can also set Google student comments. So if you want students to be able to comment, you can make it so that they can just comment. You can make it so that they can create posts, or you can make it so only teachers can post or comment. Now, prior to the COVID-19, I actually used to make it so only teachers can post or comment, but I found Classroom was a really easy way for me to communicate with my students. Students would come in and leave comments. I didn't make it so that they could create posts. I created the posts and then they would comment on them. So I currently now leave it so only students can comment. Also in this area, you've got the grading portion, and you can set this for a couple different things. You can do it so that it's not graded. So if I click here, there's no overall grade. You can do it from total points, and you can also do it by weighted by category. I, in my class, have always used no overall grade. I'm a technology aide and we don't give grades, but this following year, I believe I'm going to actually set mine for total points and start assigning points to daily work that I give the students. So that's going to be something that I'm going to do new this year. The show overall grade for students, you'd want to click that so that they are able to see where they stand whenever they're doing their work. All right, so let's go back. I have that set for total points, have it set so students can only comment, and I'm hiding the notifications. So I'm going to click save here and go back to our stream. It goes back to the stream because that's where I was. If I would have been in the classroom work prior to this, it would have taken me back to my classroom work screen. So the only thing on the stream view that is the other thing that's very helpful is this upcoming section. Now, this upcoming section shows them what is due. So here you see that the remote learning survey is due tomorrow. On Thursday, I have what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? If I click on my classroom work, just to show you here, what flavor of ice cream was a question that I posted. And the weekly assignment or the remote learning was a quiz. Okay, now we'll talk about this section later. You can see due dates and all sorts of fun stuff there. Let's go back to the stream here. So that is very helpful. So this stream section, the upcoming, is a great way you can view all. Not only are those 2 assignments due, but they also have a another assignment due here also. Okay, so you can see how many have turned it in out of your students. That's a great thing for you to be able to see. Let's go back to that was on our to-do list. So that's the teacher to-do list view. If I go back to my 4th grade grading, we've been talking about this upcoming. If I go over here and go to the classes view, I wanted to show you something here before I close out. Underneath each class, you can see what is due. So this is their up and coming, and this is their up and coming for the Technology Wise class also. If they go and view their to-do list, it actually shows what is there for all of their classes and not just the one class that you have. So if they're in the 4th grade reading and 4th grade science class with another teacher, they can see their entire to-do list. So it's a great way for them to be able to keep track of stuff. One other thing that I wanted to show you before I left, or before we close out this video, is if you don't like the order that your classes are in, you can always grab a hold of one and move it to wherever you want. I usually try to keep my filing cabinet over here because that's where I usually go in and create all of my assignments. But again, we'll talk about that next. So in the next video in this series, we'll take a closer look at the classroom view and making assignments.